Hey, thank you for not believing in me. Yes, Lord. Anybody listening right now, don't never let nobody's opinion of you determine yourself.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Let That Marinate podcast episode. I'm your guy, Lorenzo, of course. Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've done a podcast, man. I have been running all over the place, working, grinding, just trying to get some things in motion. But I'm finally off. Got me an off day. I plan on catching up on some rest, man, because I need it. I need some much needed rest. But hey, felt like doing a podcast, since I had an opportunity to do so. And there's so much to talk about, so much to get into. There's actually one in particular though that I want to get into. This happened a while back, and I don't know. It just kind of hit home for me. I guess it's kind of personal because it's so relatable. But anyway, a while back, NFL legend Ray Lewis was on a podcast, and he was asked about Shannon Sharpe. I actually have an audio clip here that I want to play because I don't want to misquote what he said. I don't want to paraphrase. So I'm going to play the clip and let you hear what Ray Lewis had to say about Shannon Sharpe.
I kind of started to watch him, and then we kind of went our own separate ways because I'm like, you're going to take that route. I can't go that route. Never can go that route.
But you're not surprised by the success he's having with his podcast and TV and
No.
him and Skip and Stephen A. all that stuff.
No, I'm not surprised. I'm shocked at his content. I would, in a million years, the things that Shannon has said now or did now, I would never believe that Shannon would say or do anything.
Like what?
Take drinking. Shannon, in my entire career, I've never saw Shannon with a drink. Ever. Like it was against the law because he had some stuff in his family that he didn't want to follow that. And that route is to become so worldly that you become popular because you're talking about ignorance. A lot of these gossip conversations that they're having and bringing up all this stuff. I'm not going to do that to nobody.
I'm sorry. When he said gossip conversations, I'm like, dude, you're on a podcast gossiping. Anyway, so this is what Shannon Sharpe had to say in response to what Ray Lewis said.
But like I said, I got nothing bad to say. Because a lot of things when you tolerate it, I'm going to go ahead and say my thing. Whatever transpired, I'll bite my tongue. I'll be the bigger person. I'll walk away. Hey, you right. Because you know why, Ocho? It's low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
You know how I know? Because your boy, you looking at him, he low-hanging fruit. And there are a lot of people taking your shot at your boy.
Come on now.
Y'all can have it. Y'all got it. Y'all got me. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. We're going to be all right, OJ.
Yeah.
That trivia say we're going to be all right.
Yeah, listen, I could have told you that. I can tell you, I've been telling you that.
Yeah. Everybody want to pile on. Everybody jump on now. Hey, we got him down, Ocho. We got him down. The best time to, hey, let me get my lick now.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody want to get a lick now because when your boy was doing good, even here, a lot of people that have a whole lot to say. Not everybody got something to say.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be all right. Ocho, former Panthers running back.
So that's what Shannon Sharpe had to say in response to what Ray Lewis had to say. Now, first of all, shouts out to Shannon Sharpe for not, clapping back and for not speaking negatively in regards to what was said from Ray Lewis and what's been said about him. Because, of course, during that time, Shannon Sharpe was, he was really going through it, with sexual allegations, being let go from ESPN, and just a lot of stuff surrounding him at that time. He was, he was at a low point, and of course, like he said, everybody had so much to say. Everybody had a whole lot to say about him, and and that's and that's the crazy part when you're down and out, when you reach the low point. That's when you really, you know, find out who's really for you and you know who's not. And in this case here, that's what happened. You just never know who's really for you, who's genuinely for you until you reach the low point in your life. And again, that's relatable because that's happened to me. When I reached a low point, when I was going through my darkest times, I found out who was really for me and who wasn't. You know, people who, you know, when I was doing good, when I was doing well, and people wanted to be around me and people wanted to, you know, be my friend and be there or whatever, you know, that's when everybody, you know, was trying to, you know, be a part of that. But then it's like when things got rough for me, all of a sudden everybody wanted to back out. Everybody wanted to, you know, remove themselves, you know. And it's cool. It's cool in the beginning. Yeah, it hurt. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I really thought I really thought I had a tribe. I really thought I had people who really cared about me and who really wanted to see me win. But then it's like, you know, when I was losing, I started losing people. And like Shannon Sharpe said, we're going to be all right. It's okay. It's all right. Now, here's what's crazy about that situation, though, because Ray Lewis was at a low point. I don't know if y'all remember, but back in 2000, there was an incident that Ray Lewis was a part of. This was after the Super Bowl. I believe it was the Rams and the Titans who played that year in the Super Bowl. And Ray Lewis, he went out with some friends. They were in Atlanta, and an incident happened where uh, I think two people ended up getting killed. They were stabbed, and they pinned that on Ray Lewis. You know, they said Ray Lewis was the one who stabbed those guys, but you know, of course, Ray Lewis was you know, he was pleading his innocence or whatever. I mean, he did end up going to jail because you know I think he was charged with obstruction, but they tried to pin that murder charge against him. So it's like, you know, during that time, Ray Lewis, you know, his career had took a turn for the worse because he was just now coming into the NFL, and you know, he was, you know, on his way to having a promising future. I mean, and he did. I mean, you know, two-time Super Bowl champion. You know, probably one of the greatest linebackers to ever play the game. So, you know, definitely not taking anything away from him in that regard. But during that time, that's when you know, his life kind of, you know, took a turn for the worse. You know, because you talking about a murder charge. You know, your career pretty much is over with. And in the media outlets at the time, they were tearing him up. Like they were, you know, really giving it to him and just really making him out to be like this bad guy, and you know, making, you know, try to make him look like he was some sort of thug, like he was some sort of, like they really made him look like a bad person, you know. And I can only imagine what it would have been like if social media was going on back in that time. Like they really would have, you know, ate him up then. But you know who was the main guy in the forefront to defend him and support him and, you know, just wanted to be there for him during that time? Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe was right there to make sure that the world knew that Ray Lewis had support. He had people rallying behind him and you know, lifting him up and encouraging him and making sure that he was good. And you know, they just wanted to, you know, he just wanted to be, you know, that positive, you know, outlook for him during that time, because it's like, you know, Ray Lewis was catching it. He was catching it from everywhere, you know. But Shannon Sharpe, you know, made sure that he showed up for Ray Lewis, right? So it's kind of funny to me how Ray Lewis would say the things that he said, because to me, I feel like he didn't have to say that. He could have said something else. He could have said anything like, hey, I'm praying that he's, that everything works out for him. I'm wishing him nothing but the best. I hope he, learned from everything that, that went on with him. Like, he could have said something positive. Like, he didn't have to say that, right? And I get it. Ray Lewis, after that incident happened with him, he was on a different path. He wanted to change his life and he wanted to become a better man. And I commend him for that, for sure. But but to me, it's like, man, come on, man. You didn't have to say that about, man. You didn't have to say that about Shannon Sharpe. Like, he's already catching hell. He's already, social media is tearing him up. The media world, they eating him alive, and they just they were really giving it to Shannon Sharpe the same way they was giving it to you. The only thing that makes his situation worse is we're in the social media space now. So everybody can chime in and say what they want to say. Everybody can, get behind a computer or on their phone and say whatever they want about someone's situation. They do it all the time. So I feel like this is what makes Shannon Sharpe's situation a little worse, right? Because, now the whole world, can, speak on your situation. The whole world is seeing what's going on, and and social media has turned a lot of people into the judge and jury. Like, that social media has allowed us to, go ahead and make a verdict. When it comes to a situation, we get to decide who's guilty and who's not. We get to decide who's a good person and who's not. Like, that's what the social media world is now. So for Ray Lewis to jump on a podcast and say what he said, and this is Ray Lewis, so of course your voice is going to carry. You know what I mean? So so for him to say what he said, I'm like, come on, man, you could have said anything else other than that. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that's where we are. That's where we are in this world now. You just never know who's genuinely for you. Until you reach the low point in your life. And it's sad. It really is. It really is sad because you try to give people a chance, and you try to, you always try to see the good in people. But it's like, at some point you really find out, who a person really is, and unfortunately it takes, you getting knocked down. It takes you going through some things. It takes you going through, rough times in order to, see who's really for you and who's not. And, again, it's a relatable situation because I've been through it. But, Shannon Sharpe said it. We're going to be all right. It's okay. It's all right. It's unfortunate, but, you kind of want to, it's good that it's good that it happened, right? It's good that you were able to find out who's for you and who's not. So that gives you an opportunity to know, to move how you need to move. And like Shannon Sharpe said, I don't have anything negative to say. There's no point. It's not going to change anything. The only thing that you can do is move forward. Moving in, just continue to move in a positive direction. Get your life back on track. Do what you got to do to become better in whatever area you need, and and just keep it moving. And it's sometimes it's better not having a whole lot of people in your circle, right? Sometimes it's better to just have a select few of people in your life, because and the select few are the ones that is solid. Even when you're going through your most difficult moments, the people who still stuck around, the ones who encouraged you and supported you and just checked on you to see if you was okay. those are the ones that you should definitely worry about, and appreciate. You know what I'm saying? But as far as everybody else, you know, it is what it is. You know, they felt it was best to remove themselves and disconnect. It's cool. It is quite okay. It's you felt you had to do what you had to do. You did what you felt was best for you, and that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. You did both of us a favor. So it is what it is. Anyway, that's my time for today. I try not to go long and talk too much. But hey, um, another podcast episode is coming soon. Again, there's so much to talk about, so much that's been going on. And we're gonna get into it. We're gonna speak from, you know, just our own personal perspective on how things are going. That's what this podcast is all about. It's just being transparent and just and just speaking from the heart. Speaking what's on my mind, and that's what it is. But anyway, once again, I appreciate all the love everybody shows me, and I hope that you continue to do so. It really means a lot. Again, if you're not following me on any of the social media platforms, you can do so. Just put in my name and follow me everywhere, man. Follow the website, check me out, and that's what it is, man. Once again, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you again for the love, and we'll see you next time. Salute.
Hey, thank you for not believing in me. Yes, Lord. Anybody listening right now, don't never let nobody opinion of you determine yourself.